Hi, welcome to a run through of the films I watched during March 2024 on Blu-ray, DVD, etc. So let's just go through them. Now, the first one I'm going to go through is this one, which is my favourite film of all time. One of them. Logan's Run is probably another. But anyway, there's lots of favourite films. High Rise, I just love this. I've got this in DVD. I've also, of course, got the book. I've just read the book so many times. Just masterpiece. But this one's got Tom Hiddleston, Luke Evans, it's Jeremy Irons, James Purfoy, who's always excellent. And this is just brilliant. The whole place goes completely crazy all the way through. Literally, society breaks down and people start eating dogs and things. Whole loads of stuff. It is just really the weirdest of films. Welcome to the high life. And it's just brilliant. You've got the sort of rich inhabitants and obviously the general normal folk down the bottom, and everyone goes completely mad. There's some brilliant scenes with this, and also there's some great special features. I really loved all the things, like the audio commentary is always great, all the various bringing ballad to the screen, etc. Just superb. Definitely recommended Blu-ray. I hope at some point they bring that out in 4K. I would love to see that. I would definitely buy it in 4K. This film had everything I thought that I would love. I mean, it's still pretty good, but it just wasn't really. Maybe another day I might be in the mood for it, but it was just, I don't know, Ralph Fiennes, just a bit over the top, the whole thing. Dakota Johnson, Tilda Swinton, always great, but no, most of the time she was like, wasn't speaking because she lost her voice, sort of thing, because she was a singer and she's just sort of obviously having some time resting her voice. And I must admit, I know that for myself. I do a lot of singing, and sing my singing voice. I've been not being able to hit all those high notes and things in the way, just because of a bad cold for a while, and it's still lingering on. But anyway, that's a different thing. You got here just sun-soaked masterpiece. I don't know about a masterpiece. It was okay, but it could have been better. I think it's based on an earlier film, which I've never actually seen. So maybe the earlier film is probably better, and I probably should have gone for that first. But it's got some decent little extras there, but I'm still thinking that, no, just didn't do. It was on BBC, I think BBC 2. I missed it, didn't record it. I could have watched it on iPlayer, but I thought, just go and get the Blu-ray. Probably a bad mistake. I should have just watched it on the iPlayer. It happens. Phase 4. This is 101. This is a 101 one. I've also got the DVD for that, but unfortunately DVD, well, it's not unfortunate now because I have got a multi-region player for that. For quite a while I didn't have a multi-region player, so I couldn't play the disc. Phase 4 is one of my favourite films, just absolute masterpiece. As far as I'm concerned, obviously the ants, I love the geodome that they go out to and all the desert and that sort of stuff, all the sort of things that I really love. Actually, they did a series with The Prisoner. It was set in the desert. Again, one of those films, like Vermilion Sands, J.G. Ballard. I love all those sort of things. I don't particularly like deserts, but anyway. Phase 4, just brilliant. The actors are great in it. You've got there Nigel Davenport. He's great. They're all just excellent. Lynn Fredericks is in it, and I think there's a few other people. Michael Murphy. And it's also got a lot of great extras, which is one of the things. Now, unfortunately, they're bringing out a 4K of this, but the 4K is, I think, Vinegar Syndrome, and I think it's that. I hope they bring out a UK version at some point. Maybe one of the others will produce it, because fortunately there's a Blu-ray with all the extras, and there's tons of extras, more than I think on here. And of course, can't play it because it's region A. Our region can't play the thing. Why? So annoying. It's all just like people chatting, what's the name? But so I'm not going to get that until, of course, they bring out a UK version, or at least a more universal, region free. But this is great. Also, I love the thing, one of the best things, also I love all the various other films. Got Saul Bass's short films on disc 2, excellent. And also it had the original Saul Bass ending, which I have to say is one of the weirdest endings of any film. I'm really glad they went for the ending they did, because the ending they put on the alternative version was the weirdest. It was like literally this kitchen sink was thrown. It was sort of like some of my sort of designs that I do in my graphics. I was like, everything was thrown into it. I was thinking, this is weird, but brilliant. But I don't think it would have worked at the cinema. I think people would have gone sort of 15, 20 minutes, quite a long sequence of extra, all the alternative ending. And I was thinking, wow, this is just mad. Just brilliant though, but still not really going to work. Still, this one was very good, and I've been looking forward to this for a long time. It's a very simple story, one from the heart. Obviously, some couple fall out of love, and they go off and find other lovers, And that's basically the story. And it's sort of all the Independence Day, sort of all the fireworks are all going off. I think it's Independence Day. Well, certainly a lot of fireworks going off. Just great, though. You've got here reprise, as it says there. And I think it's just, this is a 4K one, reimagining the blah, blah, blah. 6 minutes of footage have been added to replace the original negative. I must admit, when it comes to those things, I quite often never notice the difference. But still, I'm certain it did make a sense. But it's a brilliant film still. But the quality of the image, maybe it's just my TV. And that's the trouble. A lot of these reviews, you see a 4K one, they say, oh, this is brilliant 4K, blah, blah, blah. Which is probably great, because whenever you see people showing their 4K things, they've got like 75 or 60 inch screens, they've got all the fancy stuff, which is great. But if you've got just a real cheapo 4K one, very basic model player, sometimes I'm not so convinced that when I put Blu-ray on, got Blu-ray as well, doesn't look that much difference, frankly, between them, to my eyes. It's, yes, slightly better, but I preferred the Blu-ray. So that's the thing. But it's got a lot of little extras here that are always quite nice. You've got various music things. Tom Waits, I love Tom Waits, just absolutely superb. And there's loads of various press conferences and other things, stop motion demos, Tom Waits scores, and you've got choreography, I never say that word particularly well. Look of One from the Heart. It just visually looks superb. But at the same time, maybe I should have just gone for the Blu-ray. It's one of those ones where but still, it was reasonable. It was fairly expensive, actually. Buying it fresh from the thing, maybe I should have just waited, find it in sort of Keck for about 12 or 13 pounds. It would have been maybe a bit more better. This was brilliant. Now, unfortunately, I could not find it as Chopping Mall. That's what it is, Chopping Mall. You can see there. Why they changed the title to Robot Assassins or Asinos makes no sense at all. The central commercial, muy completo, etc., etc. It never worries me but it's obviously in English. It is in English, so it's got a really enjoyable cast. It's fun film. Oh, it's one of those ones because I love the zombie one, Dawn of the Dead. And of course, shopping centres and things, just brilliant. You've got, like I say, great characters in this. And these, the only thing I got was slightly the cleaner. Surely they have more than one cleaner at this place. You know, I mean, where was the rest of the camp? Well, maybe they're all bumped off quickly. I don't know. But it just seems like thinking, really? Unless they had some robot cleaners. Maybe that would be another series. They could have had robot cleanos, if that's such a word in Spanish. Probably not. But still, it was great. Absolutely recommend it. It was fun. It's one of those films. Though I must admit, while I was watching it, same problem with zombies. Quite often, I always when I think, why don't they ever use? And they nearly did. There's a certain thing I think, why don't they do that in the film? And it would stop the zombies straight away. Likewise, these robots, big weakness, a bit like Daleks. The Daleks probably can work around anything, and they've got universal computers and everything else. Yes, another one of my favourite films, Orlando. I love this film. I had this on a cheapo. I think it was Daily Mail, maybe one of those ones. Or Times, Telegraph, something like that. You get these freebie ones. Just great. It was okay. Perfect free. I've seen it on TV as well. I saw it at cinema. I love this film. I love the book as well. It's great. Hip, sexy and wickedly funny. I don't know. They always have these blurbs, don't they? Spectacular. That's probably more like it. It's just great. I just absolutely love it. It goes through time. You've got it sort of starts off and then goes through different periods, Victorian, etc., Georgian period. And it's got really lovely documentaries. It was really good. Orlando Goes to Russia. And I was watching that and I was thinking, oh, wow, I didn't realise where they were filming it. And it turns out slightly different from how it starts. I'm thinking, okay. But it's Orlando it's just like, Jimmy Was an Angel. That's great as well. Brilliant. And loads of other things. Sally Potter, etc. 400 years it covers. What a lovely film. Really, very, and again, this is Blu-ray. This is from Artificial Eye. Maybe someday it might come out in 4K. I'll probably treat myself to a 4K version of it. I'm always happy to get 4K versions of most of my fake films. Obviously, if I find a 4K that's reasonably priced, I'm perfectly happy to get that. Because I did find Captain Marvel for, not everyone likes Captain Marvel, 4K one, £5. You can't beat that sort of price for £5. It's near enough cheaper than buying it on Blu-ray. And I haven't watched it yet. I might regret that. But I loved the film. I know it wasn't everyone's favourite, but I loved it. However, Gothic. I love films about that period, 1816. And I'm going to probably somebody says, no, it wasn't 1816. Well, I think it was. Obviously, Lord Byron and Shelley. that period. It's just surreal. This film is just one of those films I can watch over and over again. I'm really pleased I got this in the Blu-ray because it's just great. The extras were brilliant as well. It's got some great extras. Got lots of little other films, Amelia and the Angel. You've also got Soul of Shelley with Julian Sands. That's really unusual watching old Julian. I love Julian Sands. It's really quite sad, obviously, what happened to him. And A Haunted Evening, lots of other things. That was brilliant. The writer talking about all the various steps. The extras are great on that. But the film itself is an absolute masterpiece. Ken Russell is not for everyone. It's one of those sort of directors but he also had a lovely little that sort of booklet. The booklet was great. I love the booklet. I didn't expect the booklet, but you do get those with BFIs. They do often include it. But this one, just great. Definitely a recommended film. Love this one. Mainly, well, it cost me 50p. You can't beat 50p for a Blu-ray. This was I got in Keck and from Stephanie Meyer. I've never watched Twilight. never ever seen. Might have done. I might have seen bits of it. I'm quite certain I have. Written for the screen. Superb actress. I'm not going to say her name because I always get it wrong. So that's not. But the rest of the cast was great as well. Really, really good. I loved it. Loved it. And well, what more can I say? It was just a very weird, futuristic one where people get sort of invasion of the body snatchers, basically, but further on from the story where everything is basically finished. There's no, but I loved it. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful. And her performance was just superb. Oscar winning as far as I'm concerned. Just a great performance. And they were all very good, but I think she's brilliant. Absolutely superb. I don't think I've actually seen a bad film that she's been in. I just think she's excellent. Bringing the Host to life, making the Host, they were good as well. Very interesting little documentary. Very recommended. Certainly if you can find it for 50p. What more can you expect? And obviously you get, of course, the good old, which is always handy because just as I was carrying these down the stairs, I ended up dropping it all. So it just slightly bashed. I know that people would go, getting a slip, so damaging it. This was very good as well. Don't get many of these. And I've had a few. I had the Justice Society one, something of war. Can't remember what it was called exactly. And that was okay. But this I did thoroughly enjoy. And I've never read the book. The Gaslight one, the Gotham by Gaslight. And this is Gotham City, the turn of the century. And not really a Elseworld thing, which is weird because I love all the What If and the Marvel Universe one. But I've never really got many of these DC ones. I don't know why. But the extras were good. You had a lot of decent ones, sneak peek at the various movies, anime, Suicide Squad, and also a few other things as well, extras. But it was generally very, very good. Lots of twists and turns. All the characters you expect turn up, sometimes dispatched very quickly as well, which was quite odd. I was watching thinking, that character, the twist. Anyway, I'm not going to say, but there was a twist. Of course, there has to be a twist in these things. And it was great. I loved it. And, of course, you can see Catwoman there, Batman, of course. And this is just great. Recommended one. And it's Bruce Timm, of course, executive. And star and voice talents are Bruce Greenwood, who I don't know, Jennifer Carpenter. So that's that. But definitely recommended. I love this. I've been tossing and turning about buying this for ages, but I got this for about £3 or £4. Again, there was one of these 4K ones, and I thought, I will treat myself to that. And, well, yes, excellent. Michelle Williams is always brilliant. But the rest of the cast, Seth Rogen, Paul Danko, Gabrielle LaBelle, just great. The early story, obviously, of Steven Spielberg, obviously the young years. And it was just, don't think the cover really sells it. That was the reason. Whenever I look at that cover, I don't know why. Maybe it's just me. It just looks like Elvis Presley. It isn't, but it's still, when you look at it, I just suddenly have visions in like he was going to sing or something. It just doesn't really sort of sell it to me as a sort of film about films. I know it's obviously a film, but it's just, they could have chosen a better cover, I think. Just the cover's wrong. But the actual inside's great. Steven Spielberg's life, I absolutely loved it. I mean, it would have been better since he's the main character all the way through the film, why did they go with the kid? But it had some decent extras as well. Personal journey. Actually, that was very interesting. That was good with Steven Spielberg, of course. Family dynamics, creating the craft in the world. And the film obviously set in the 60s, 50s, 60s, that period, early. And I didn't really feel it as a historical document. It was one of those films, when you watch sometimes and you get a period, you get re-wrapped up in the period detail and you start thinking that's brilliant the way I've done that. So I didn't really feel that with this. I was watching it just enjoying the story. I didn't get wrapped up in seeing all the detail about the times more than... So that was quite good, because I think sometimes I do get a bit bogged down in, oh, it's the 60s, and I sort of end up watching that more than the film. In this case, I didn't get that. And I just genuinely thought, wish I hadn't taken so long to actually get it. Written and directed by Steven Spielberg and Tony Kushner. I loved it. Famous, and it was a 4K one. Really, really good. I've been going through a lot, and I've still got the next one, which I've got to watch. Godzilla, whatever it is, or King Kong versus Godzilla. Godzilla, one of the two. But I've got Godzilla, King of the Monsters. I mean, it's obviously hokum. There's not any word to describe this. I mean, it's just full-on sort of action-packed stuff, completely daft. I was slightly disappointed about some of the characters, what happened to them. Not going to say which characters, but it was just odd. Just the way I thought, why? Really? No. One was good. But one was just, I thought, why? But still. Good performances generally through. There was a nice twist. And also anything with Charles dancing is always great. I mean, he's virtually in everything, isn't he? I think he wasn't in Fablemans and he wasn't in The Host. Probably was. I don't know. He seems to be in everything else, so it's possible I get to the point where I think he's in everything. But he's Charles Dance, always good. It was a good cast, a good extras as well. But the Monsterverse, and this could go on forever, of course, couldn't it? This series of Godzilla versus this, Godzilla versus Gamera or whatever. I don't remember the names. I'm not really a a Godzilla fan in that sense of knowing all the various references. When the various sort of Mothra or whatever appears, yeah. I don't know the characters particularly, but it's still, I loved it. Mothra, yeah, okay, I knew it was one of them. And the ultimate battle of the Titans. And I imagine they could just throw everything in. You could probably put everything into this. Yeah, Buffy the Vampire Slayer into this before you know it. All the various monsters. Maybe the mayor could come back in that. You could have the monster there. He becomes a... But it's just great. Maybe Giant Man they could have. Goliath. But Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Really, really fascinating film. I thoroughly enjoyed it for 2 hours or whatever it was. It was definitely watchable film. And that's what you want sometimes. You want to sit down completely, you know it's rubbish, but wow, very well done. Lots to see. And the only thing is slightly disappointing when these things, when you watch it, I always think that they could have a whole film afterwards, the construction company that comes in to rebuild all the cities, because, you know, you think, hang on, virtually the whole country wiped out. Would make short work of Maidstone. I mean, the film would be over in a second, like Maidstone, with sort of one big foot of Godzilla. That would be it, gone. End of film. I love this. Underground. This is just... I love silent movies. I'm going to go through all the books. I've got silent movies. No, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, silent movies. I think silent movies are great. One of the great lost art forms. It's not lost because, of course, lots of the material, luckily, some of it survives. 99.99% got lost, but there's still some. A bit like Greek tragedies and things. There's like bits of the... Obviously, but we got some, not always the best stuff. I'm certain there must have been some great stuff that's just gone. That's it, gone forever. We'll never ever get it back. But we have got this sort of thing, and this is just great. He's an unusual character. I have to say, I saw him in another film, Shooting Stars. Yeah, don't know about my position with him, but he was good enough, and he's the roguish character in this, and it's a lovely triangle. Well, there's four quad. Yeah, just great, the underground. But I love London Underground. So when I was watching it, I was like, some of the scenes, many ways, because I went up to London in the 60s. So it must have been similar to what it was in the 1920s to a degree. Nothing changes that much. Obviously, so there was lots of like all the wooden, obviously, because they got rid of that after the fire, of course. But all those sort of things, you thought, I remember that. I remember all those things up to sort of going up when you're up escalator and those sort of stuff. Don't remember actually the guards in the same way. But I suppose maybe that'll change by that time. But the film is totally brilliant. I loved it. Even better, lots and lots of extras. And the extras are just great. If only they had piled on a few more extras. Because you actually get 2 discs. You've got 2 discs here, which is great. And you've got a lovely booklet. The booklet's great. But it's got loads of... Anthony Asquith, obviously the son of the Prime Minister. Obviously not the current Prime Minister. That would be weird, wouldn't it? You've got here Restoring Underground, and I love ones about restoring the various features. They're always great. And you've got here Trip to the Metropolitan Railway, brilliant. Scenes at Piccadilly Circus and Hyde Park Corner, of course. Not really changed that much, sort of. if you look at it in a particular light, I guess. 7 more stations. That was weird because I used to live up that area, Leytonstone, and that's where that's covered. Central Line beyond Stratford, all that sort of part. So that was really nice seeing all that. And South Woodford and all those sort of areas. Under Night Streets, that was amazing. It's in a documentary, all the cleaners. Oh, just unbelievable just seeing what they had to do. I was thinking, oh, really? That was just so hard work, working away and lifting all those tracks. I'm certain I have to do that now. Hopefully they've got better technology than some of the stuff. Maybe not. Maybe it requires the same sort of thing. I don't know. But it was amazing video. The film itself was brilliant. I loved every second of the film. It was a silent movie. It was really get wrapped up in it because obviously, there's no words, but it's just the emotions, everything, the characters, everything, all the various things. Absolute masterpiece. Such a pity to say they don't produce silent movies now because I think there's the lost art form there that could be. Now, unfortunately, I can't say much about this one. Bad, it was okay. I wouldn't say it was disastrous. And it was quite nice because, of course, you got here and obviously the recent Catherine the Great, that sort of. I don't know if they're ever going to do another series of that. Has that stopped or something? I don't know. But still, Nicholas Hoult, I'm not a fan of Nicholas Hoult. I just can't warm to him. I don't know why. I never liked him when he was in Skins. I never liked him a few other things as well. I just thought, Now, Ellie Fanning's great. And also Michael Shannon was really good in this as well. I can't say I've seen him in a vast number of films. I've seen him obviously in the Superman one. Vengeance Will Reign. It's decent though. That's the thing about Rain. There's not much of it. It's basically a desert. Yet another desert film, a masterpiece of a film. I love. You virtually guarantee that when they put a blurb, masterpiece of a film, means it's not going to be a masterpiece. But it was good. Overall, I did enjoy it in the end. I loved the robot. The robot was good. There was the robot that's all clunking along. That was the best character, I think, in the film. In fact, he was the key character in the film. But anyway. Still worth watching if you're into that sort of thing. But it was 95 minutes. It wasn't too bad. Didn't have any extras. It doesn't say any extras on here. I don't think it had any extras, which is always a bad sign for me for a Blu-ray. Put at least a making of. How difficult is it to put a making of or the actors just to turn around and say, you know what, I really enjoyed this film or whatever. Something like that. Nothing. Very disappointing. But I suppose some get like that. Now, this one was great. I loved this. Now, Amy Adams, I think, is always great. Arrival, I was going to say Survival. It's Arrival. Why are they here? And I'm not going to say why they were here. It was a really beautiful film all the way through. Just great performances. Jeremy Renner didn't have a vast amount to do. And Forrest Whitaker was basically Forrest Whitaker, as he always is. Exactly the same. But it was a mysterious spacecraft touchdown across the globe, an elite team led by expert linguists, and it was very impressive. I just thought the whole linguistic aspect of it was just great. All the various computers seeing things and analysing. Nations struggle to coordinate a response, and of course, various countries go off in their own direction, etc., etc. And yeah, so it was. I love that. You can tell the film's going to be good. Can't even say it. Xenolinguistics, understanding Arrival. You know when a film's got a Blu-ray, a special feature like that title. Acoustic signatures, the sound design. But I love that sort of stuff. Actually, I went to see a brilliant concert last night, and it was basically a singer that was just singing for 20 odd minutes. It felt like eternity, actually, to be honest. But it was an amazing performance where it was all sound and things, and he was doing it off this sort of tape deck and things, and it was like a meditative sort of thing. Weird. Really, truly weird. And that sort of thing that you can see, I could have thinking maybe the whole film, that sort of weird sound all the way through the film. I was like, unbelievable. But it's great that people do that. It's really, because I think sound is obviously, I love acoustics and design, that sort of thing. And so this sort of film was just a masterpiece as far as I'm concerned. Arrival, loved it. And it's Blu-ray, of course. Great picture, great quality all the way through. Like I said, Jeremy Renner didn't have a vast amount. There was no arrows or anything. He was not Hawkeye in this in any shape or form. He was the theoretical physicist, which, because that's my background, he didn't seem to have much to do. Oh, yes, we'll do this, we'll do that. There was no sort of tensor calculus involved or anything like that. So, who knows? Oh, upside down. Elysium, don't ask me. I always get that wrong. I loved this. Matt Damon, Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster was weird in this film. I haven't seen her recently, so maybe, but she was the sort of defence minister of this place up in the sky, and all the rich people. you know, super rich have all gone there. So, but of course, lots of people want to get up there, and they're not getting that opportunity. But people up there can live forever, sort of thing. They get everything's fixed for them. They get all their medical treatment and done all instantaneously. Pretty impressive. I don't know what year this was, but it was 2154. So obviously we're given 100 odd years. They've developed technology to basically recreate you. If you get killed, blown apart, whatever, doesn't matter. You get reformed in most cases. Not always, of course. However, good performances. Matt Damon is always great. He always plays Matt Damon in all the films. It's basically Jason Bourne, of course. It was just great. Confirms who Blomkamp as one of the potential science fiction greats of this decade. Okay, I assume that's the director. I guess that's the case. But whatever, I loved it. Thoroughly enjoyable, couple of hours watching, and it had some really decent extras, features, which is always a big key sign for me. Blu-ray exclusives, of course, got a nice slipcase and exactly the same. I think I bought it for 50p, which is good. It's one of those. The thing is, when you go into Keck and you see a 50p or something like that, 25p. Now, I've never seen it that low, 50p. You think, oh, I'll give it a go. And any science fiction film, I'm always willing to give it a go. And sometimes you go, oh, it wasn't that good, like Badlands. But sometimes you get some really good ones. And this one's got, like I say, lots of things. Envision Elysium, Journey to, extended scenes. I've never really liked the deleted scenes. They're the ones I generally don't always click on. But I do enjoy the ones when they talk about the visual effects, the sound effects and all that sort of stuff. I always love all that sort of thing. And also the philosophy behind it, more than sometimes the deleted bits. Actually, I wish they would put more blooper ones on. I prefer the fun bits where they sort of make mistakes and things. Always love that bit more than sometimes the extra deleted bits. Love this one, Kong Skull Island. Now, this is the first, obviously, of the Kong ones. Now, there's been millions of Kong ones. I've just got the Jessica Lange one. I've also got the Naomi Watts one. I've watched them all. Watched, of course, the first one, wherever that was, 1933. I haven't got that on Blu-ray yet. I must get that at some point. But I think it's quite expensive. However, this one, Kong Skull Island, I think was a couple of quid in Keck. Great performance, of course, there. I always think he's great. Tom Hiddleston and also Brie Larson and also Samuel Jackson. Samuel Jackson was the usual over the top, intense commander of the whole mission. And I thought he was great. John Goodman was great. They were all good. In fact, they were all very enjoyable, all going obviously to this island, and they go in there sort of like Apocalypse Now kind of thing. They're sort of hurtling into this cloud as they go into this island, not knowing what they're going to see. Of course, obviously some people know there's something there. And it's Creating the King, and it's got two-part exploration. And again, these extras were good, and it's talking about the monster verse. Tom Hiddleston, I really love that. That's the sort of thing I love, not a blooper, but it's a sort of like really fun. And that's what I love, fun extras. You don't want sometimes always super serious ones. You want occasional. Tom Hiddleston is great for a fun look behind the scenes. And I don't know if there was commentary. Director's commentary. Sometimes I put those on, but it's one of the things I always put on later. So I watch the film first, don't put the director commentary or the actor one. Personally, I prefer the actor commentaries. They're often funnier than the director ones. Director ones can be a bit staid, I think. But this still was a great film, HDR, 4K. Again, it was not expensive to buy, luckily, in Keck. I love this one, Closed Circuit. And actually, this is Blu-ray one. The game was £1 or something, I think I bought somewhere. And this one, they see your every move. A bit like a person that bought it, whatever it was. Yeah, the one where they have a supercomputer following it. Well, it wasn't really that. Actually, it was a very enemy of the state. Those sort of things. Tinker Tailor's Soldier Spy. Lots of twists and turns. It had a great cast. Jim Broadbent, always great. I love Jim Broadbent. Kieran Hines, again, love Kieran Hines. He's great. Of course, Rome was Caesar and things and loads of other films. Rebecca Hall, great. I always love Rebecca Hall. Eric Bana, okay. He was fine in this, actually. It wasn't too bad. They were lawyers that end up sort of trying to help. Obviously one was against protagonists, etc., etc. Well, of course, it all goes a bit all over the place as they sort of investigate more and more into it. It has to be that, otherwise it'd be a really boring film, wouldn't it? They just do, yes, sir, yes, Lord, etc., etc., and then they sentence, etc., etc., or whatever. No, the defence team, etc., step into the dangerous web of secrets. Actually, that's odd. They say the defence team. Okay, I don't know. I thought he was what's his name? He wasn't on. But anyway, the dangerous web of secrets and lies uncover a secret conspiracy that points to the possible government cover-up. How unusual. What follows finds the two lawyers' lives in jeopardy. And it was, but it was well done. Quite often these sort of films, when I watch it, I'm always going, yeah, that's just not going to happen. I mean, obviously, all the various things. But it was I thought, well done in the sense wasn't badly done at all. Without saying too much about the story. I can be quite disappointed by these ones where I go, you get Liam Neeson or something and he takes off, takes basically the entire government's, machine guns everywhere, whatever. Those sort of films, Matt Damon or something. And you go, oh, crumbs, really? He's unstoppable machine. Of course, he's born or something, sort of, he can wipe everyone out. But that didn't happen in this. So it was a more realistic, I felt, sort of thing that characters didn't sort of, go full-on military machine. Because that would have been terrible. But this, I love this one. Another silent, BFI. Maybe BFI is about the only place where you really get silence. I don't see them in the UK anyway. Maybe obviously various other countries, maybe lots of silence are more easily available. But here we got BFI. And this one again, Anthony Asquith. I really hope that BFI bring out a lot more of these because they probably have and I've missed them all. But this one was great. A weird story where again, it was a love triangle kind of story. Now you had this comedian who was backwards and forwards, and obviously another character who was in the same one, Brian Aherne, and it was a love interest story, and it was well done. Split sort of thing because they were doing it in a film studio, and this was why I got it because it was all about the sort of film studio, and they were filming upstairs and filming downstairs, and there was all twists and turns about various things. They would go off to various play and whatever. It was great. Loved all the performances. All the actors were great, and you can see basically the storyline there on the front on the cover, not without giving much away since it's on the cover. And you got loads of special features which I always love. You got here making of cinematography, meet Jackie Coogan, the Lovely 100. Now some of them were silly because I wish they would have put a little bit of a blurb about it. So have some expert whatever talking about it a bit before, because I think when you put something that's 25 seconds, that was it. 25 seconds, you got a thing. Like I hardly knew what it was about. It was like 25 seconds, bang, finished. I thought they could have or this one, around the town, British film stars and studios, 2 minutes. Again, they could have, surely they had enough. And they've got 2 discs. They could have surely have a little bit of a talking head where they sort of discuss it. Instead, it was just showed the thing, bang, that was it. No context, nothing. But it was good. I mean, nothing wrong with it. But this guy, I mean, he was great. He was very good. Unusual actor. I don't know how many other films he'd been in, probably about 6,000 films. But unfortunately, I suspect most of them, sadly, are all gone. But it's got a lovely little booklet, which is always good. I love a good booklet. And you got here all the various, obviously, Starlings of the Screen, Secrets of the World Industry, opening of British instructional films. Also, the gallery was great as well. DVD-ROM content. I didn't actually look at that, so I have no idea what that's like. But of course, you've also got, lots of other films there. You can see the various other ones. Though I think all those are not. You've got Gaslight. Maybe that's a silent as well. Battleship Potemkin is definitely a silent. So there's obviously a lot of silent ones potential to watch. I haven't watched that. Never watched it. Probably very good. Talking about silence, I love this. Hugo 3D, and you can see again, what a cheapskate. £1. Cheap on that one. You can't beat a great film. £1. It was a masterpiece. I loved every second. I saw it on TV, but unfortunately I caught the end of it. So I never actually worked out all the very story. I just suddenly saw this kid running around the station. I thought, okay, whatever. And I watched bits of it and I thought, yeah, fine. But this was Hugo 3D. I was a bit wary about when I got this, Hugo 3D. I suddenly thought, I haven't got a 3D player. So I was thinking, is it going to work? But luckily it comes up and puts up, says 2D or 3D. I didn't press the 3D. Could have pressed 3D and see what happens. It probably wouldn't have worked. But this is a story of the early days, George Méliès. And I'm saying his name completely wrong. I'm quite certain it's got some lovely extras. And I actually bought a lovely one about his life. A lovely Blu-ray that I'm looking forward to watch maybe sometime. Obviously, it's Blu-ray, Shoot the Moon. You've got Mechanical Man at the Heart. That was lovely. Man at the Heart of Hugo. Big effects, small scale, and everything. Everything about this was just lovely. Great performances. Martin Scorsese film. Welcome to the magical world of spectacular adventure. The early years of obviously silent cinema. And it's just a masterpiece. Loved it. Loved it all the way through. So that's great. Passengers. Loved this film when I saw it. I think I saw it on TV. I think it was probably on Netflix or something, maybe. But I saw it, the 4K, again, for about £4 or something. I thought, yes, I will get that for £4. Passengers. Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt. They're going aboard this ship. It's complete foolproof. I really wouldn't rely on a foolproof thing. You're hurtling through space in this ship, and no one's awake. Going off, and it's going to take whatever 100 years or something, and you're going foolproof. Really? Well, we do not ever recognise this. This has never gone wrong, sort of thing. Well, that's a problem for Chris Pratt. I know it's a bit of a spoiler, sorry, but you have to say that that's what's basically going to happen. That's about within the first seconds of the film. So this was one aboard a spacecraft transporting new life on a new planet. A trip takes a deadly turn when their hibernation pods mysteriously wake them in 90 years. Again, not strictly true. Because of the way it's worded there. When their hibernation pods. It's not what really the story's about. There's a lot of other bits about this story that are great, and the relationship between the characters. Also, Michael Sheen, who I think is one of the best actors of all time. Love anything Michael Sheen's, just a superb actor. Superb. I loved the one where he did, I can't remember what the title was now. One with David Tennant. He did this lovely combination one, David Tennant, when they were doing it over, obviously, during lockdown. Probably was called Lockdown. And I just loved it. Just great all the way through. Oculus. This was very enjoyable. Got one of my favourite actresses, Rebecca Hall. Love any film that she's in. I've got loads of films of hers. Horror gem. I don't know about that. It was well done. I have to say that when you get these sort of mirrors, probably not a good idea. No, don't do it. It's got a history of all the way through. No, don't bring it along. Oh yes, we'll work on that. So just leave it. Would it be a much better thing? No, of course that would not make a story, would it? So you have obviously the characters get this, and then of course it doesn't work. She's got all the various cameras all out. It's a bit like one of those sort of ones where all the characters go around filming everything. Those TV series where they all go, when there's like a ghostly and they're in, that sort of stuff. Wasn't exactly like that, but still, there's a supernatural force unleashed through the lasser glass, an antique mirror in their childhood home. It was very well done though. It was well done. You didn't know what was happening at times. Will they imagine it? Will suddenly go out and do various things, and they're not. You sort of sitting watching a film like a Oculus, and then suddenly you're not, or you'll watch it, or you think you're recording a YouTube video, and then you're not. Those sort of things. But that's what that sort of film was, and it was well done, and I did enjoy it, and I like the extras as well. It's I think it did have some. It says special features. Doesn't tell. I always love it when they don't actually say the special features. Says here may not be in high definition. Audio and subtitles may vary. What a nice clue. I can't remember what they were, but they were fine. Godzilla. That was the first one. Well, I suppose Kong Skull Island was the first. Or was it? I don't know. There's like Meg, and there's loads of others. Loads of other ones connected with this Monsterverse. And I did enjoy that. I mean, Sally Hawkins is in this one. She's great. Love Sally Hawkins. Elizabeth Olsen was in it. Ken Watanabe. And Aaron Taylor-Johnson. And a few others. Juliette Binoche. Oh, yeah, Juliette Binoche. She was in it right at the start of the film. That's a bit of a spoiler, isn't it? Anyway, I really love Juliette Binoche. She's been in so many great films. And along, let's say, Sally Hawkins as well. Godzilla. You can see Godzilla there. Pretty big over, and I assume that is wherever it is, San Francisco. I don't know. I've never been to San Francisco, so I have no idea if that's the skyline of that. But this is great. Really wonderful thing. He goes there, obviously, and everyone thinks, oh, he's a villain, all that sort of stuff, blah, 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 blah. And all brilliantly resolved. Loved that film. And the final one, another 4K one. And again, this one got terrible reviews at the time. X-Men Dark Phoenix. 4K, and I just love this film. I love all the actors in this. He's great. James McAvoy, anything with James McAvoy, I always enjoy. Jennifer Lawrence is great in this. And it's also got a nice selection of extras at the back, fast-paced action and impressive visual. Now, it wasn't like, of course, the original comic book, The Dark Phoenix. Of course, she wasn't particularly like the Dark Phoenix, but it doesn't matter. At the end of that, I never worry about it. There was no Hellfire Club storyline where you got the mastermind and all that sort of stuff. I wish they had done that sort of thing, but no, it doesn't matter. It was still very enjoyable, and I loved watching the whole thing. And of course, they didn't even have all the various other characters that turn up. And also, of course, the ending on the moon. None of that. But we've got X-Men Dark Phoenix, great little film, and I've enjoyed most of the X-Men films. I don't think there's been one that I've really disliked. I mean, they're not always brilliant, and some of the earlier ones, the real early ones, you know, with Picard, Patrick Stewart, and etc., they're okay. But I wouldn't say they're masterpieces, but I still think they're always quite watchable. And I think this was probably £1 as well, so a couple of quid. It wasn't too expensive, and loved it. So that is a run through of all the films that I've watched this month, tipping into sort of April. And now probably for tonight I'm going to watch this, Crazies. I've just got a pile of Blu-rays that just come through the letterbox. Crazies, I've never seen it. I'm a mega fan of Romero. I know this one isn't the Romero version. I will get the Romero version at some point if I love this one. I'm quite certain I will. I might have seen it, actually. I can't recall if I have seen Crazies or not. The George Romero template, etc. I mean, I enjoyed the Dawn of the Dead remake. That was great, especially the first scene. Well, that was just like, that always even now terrifies me. It's one of those ones you sort of think, "Bleh." And so maybe this has got some sort of moment, help us. But any sort of these films, like zombies sort of like films, I always love. So I'm really looking forward to watching that. I do love watching lots of programmes about various things. I watched this Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Loved this film when I saw it. Phoebe Cates, etc., as well as quite a few other actors as well. Jennifer Jason Leigh is always good. Judge Reinhold, of course. Cameron Crowe, first time screenwriter. I didn't realise that he was doing that. That's interesting. And a few other characters, of course. Nicholas Cage was in it. Anthony Edward. Forrest Whitaker. Good old Forrest Whitaker. He was in it. I didn't realise he was in it either. Sean Penn. Never been a keen fan of Sean Penn. But I will watch that. Also, I've got these ones. I know it's not really what I've watched, but I just thought I'd quickly point these out because they're right beside me. New Girl. Got these for, this one was £1.50. This one, 20p. That's for season 1. So I got those, which I will look forward to watch. Really good little series, that one. Oh, X-Men, talking about films. This one, where I got games. This one wasn't 60p, it was 25p. I thought, because it was a bundle of 4 for £1, I had to find something. So that was, I thought, oh, I'll get that one. And some other films. And sometimes when you go for those sort of bundles, it's always great just to pick up any sort of stuff and you think, oh, I'll get that one. Dear John, Channing Tatum and Amanda Seyfried, I think that's her name. And probably another film that I probably regret guessing, Day the Earth Stood Still. The first one was, of course, a masterpiece. Keanu Reeves, oh, okay. But this is the one, King Kong. I was thinking about watching this one. This was going to be the one I was going to watch. Also, I watched a lovely review of this one, The Mummy, and I thought, you know what, I haven't seen this for years. So Rachel Weisz, of course, and don't ask me his name, for God's sake. Brendan Fraser, not an actor. I haven't seen him recently. He's still in films. I've seen this. This one I don't know anything about. Be Kind, Rewind, Jack Black. He's always good. Danny Glover and Mos Def. Anyway, I'm certain that's going to be good reviews. And another, weirdly, Rebecca Hall film, Tumble Down. So I'm looking forward to watch that. So there's a lot of different ones but I've got loads of other films that I think I will sit down and watch. Anyway, what did you watch during March? Anything that you really liked? Did you see any of those films? Passengers, Hugo. Have you watched those? Did you like all those films? Did you hate all those films? Which is quite possible. Things like the Kong. Do you really enjoy the series? Are you looking forward to the next Kong, whatever it's called? Kong versus Godzilla, New Empire or something, isn't it? Something like that anyway. And also, of course, another film. Maybe you like Badlands. I can't imagine anyone really liked that film. Just was, but everyone loves different films. That's the thing, isn't it, with films? And sometimes actually, when you watch films, you can watch them later, and you enjoy them. You know, maybe I'm just not in the mood for that night. You sit down and watch it, and you think, oh, you know, you look at your watch, kind of thing, whatever. You look at it, you think, oh, I'll just go and get a sandwich or something. Because frankly, you're just not interested in the film you're watching. And it just doesn't work. And then I did that with Superman. There was one with Superman Returns. I was terrible. This was a terrible film. Oh, it's awful, awful, awful. Watched it the second time, loved it. And I've watched it since, and I loved that film. So first time, no, didn't enjoy it at all. And I might say with some of these other ones, like The Host, I might sit and watch it again and think, oh, what did I see in that first time around? But not was the case with Gothic. That's my big recommendation. Gosh, great film. If you want a really weird film, just absolute masterpiece. Great performances all the way through. Any film, of course, but it's got Gabriel Byrne, Julian Sands, Natasha Richardson, and I don't know who's Miriam Siri. I know who she was, but Timothy Spall, whatever. He's great always. He's always good. And Ken Russell. But that's a run through of the films of March. And like I say, what are you looking forward to watch in April? You're going to get 4Ks, you're going to get Blu-rays, you're going to get DVDs, because I must admit, I generally always aim for Blu-ray. Blu-rays are the ones that I like to get. Sometimes I look at the prices and think, it's like £25, £30 or something for Blu-ray, and you think, hang on, the DVD's £6. And you think, okay, I'm going to go for the DVD. I'm not, probably won't watch it once, so what's the point in going, full on to get the Blu-ray? And then the 4K ones, sometimes the 4Ks are just, and then there's of course the limited edition ones and the booklet ones, and sometimes you get these big, like Barbarella. I was thinking about Barbarella one, 4K. That's like £46. And then of course you've got the problem, of course, the region A for the Blu-ray disc, which is useless unless you've got a player that can play it. So that's all those sort of things are just always a problem. But I love all these things. I've actually watched some streams as well. Again, I've been thinking about cancelling a few streaming services. I've been going through them. So I've unfortunately got a contract for the Netflix, so I can't cancel that just yet. But that will be probably one that's going to go. I don't watch enough on it. And there's some good films on it. I mean, I do enjoy like Turkish films or German films, those sort of things. I love lots of those films. But there's not much UK or US films that I've really sort of think, I must watch that. I've got lots of friends who recommend things to me, and I watch bits of them and I think, that's good. And then they saw me sit on the first episode kind of thing. But one stream service I do love, which is probably one people hate, and that's Amazon. And the reason I like the Amazon one is because it has so much rubbish on it, which I love. And that sounds weird, I know. Not rubbish. They are good films, but it's all like weird stuff that no other channel will ever put on. They just seem to put everything. The kitchen sink. They probably must get these contracts or something with millions of films. Because you look at it, it's like opera and things. You go on there and you find like loads of opera or theatre productions. You think, really? You don't see those on Netflix or any other services. But they're the sort of things I love. It's like they have lots of, like, you do a search for Italian movies or German movies. You can find some real brilliant films. Probably pretty rubbishy films, but I do enjoy watching them. And they're sort of ones you can watch for an hour and a half or something, or whatever. And you think, yes, that's a great little film. Probably never watch it again, but it's nice to have seen it. Unfortunately, the reviews and things, you never can. Amazon's got the problem, very hard to find anything. There's thousands of gems on Amazon, but they make no effort to actually display it, show it. It's really hopeless for finding things I find on Amazon. Wish it was easier, but they don't. Personally, that's my problem with Amazon. But it's the one streaming service I probably will keep of all the streaming services because of the sheer amount of stuff that they seem to get that I like. I liked watching sort of weird French film, new wave films, or some gritty sort of UK film from 1958 or something. Or they have sort of like old Talking Pictures, of course, the best channel on the TV. I love Talking Pictures. Those sort of films. They have lots of that sort of stuff, which is just great to go through. Slightly, off the subject of recent watch films, but do you watch Talking Pictures? Do you watch Amazon service? Do you hate Amazon's streaming service? Or do you never touch it with a barge pole? Those sort of things. Everyone has, of course, personal tastes about what they want to watch on those things. But I'm very happy with it anyway. So that's it. Run through for March of all things. I will be doing other run-throughs or reviews of various things. Maybe do themed ones, maybe on like Planet of the Apes or various things like Silent Running. Obviously science fiction films of the 60s, 70s, etc. Maybe silent movies, those sort of things. Just see how it all develops. I would like to do more of that sort of thing. Anyway, hope you found this of interest. Any thoughts, any questions, please let me know in the comments. A like or dislike, perfectly reasonable either way. And also, please subscribe to the channel. Bye.